Oh, I need my sweater. Got cold.
All right. It looks like we're all coming on in. Welcome to Paul Revere. Welcome to Ready, Set, Revere. We are the Magnet team, and we are here to kind of get you ready for the fall. So welcome, everyone. I am Mrs. Mello, and I teach 6th grade English. So if your child is coming to Revere, obviously they will have me as their English teacher.
Should we just chime in?
Go ahead.
I'm Clausine Honda. I'm the special ed coordinator.
Hello. I'm Steve Tokeshi. I am the 6th grade math teacher.
Matsu, you're up.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm Eric Matsubayashi. I'm the 6th grade science teacher.
We're like playing chicken with our names.
Yeah.
I'm John Hyman. I'm the 6th grade history teacher. It's Ancient Civilizations.
And I think we have Mrs. Sparza with us too.
I am, and I'm Cecilia Sparza. I am one of the school counselors in the counseling office, and this year I am the 7th grade counselor, and next year I'll be the 8th grade counselor. But all the counselors know all the answers to all the grade levels most of the time.
All right, so some people are just popping in, so I want to make sure everyone is able to get into our Zoom.
And I'm sure Mrs. Mabashoff will be joining us. She is our magnet coordinator, who I'm sure she'll introduce herself once she pops in.
All right, so we will begin. So once again, welcome to our 2021 Ready, Set, Revere.
All right, so I'm going to start us off. So Paul Revere, one of the beautiful things about Paul Revere is the diversity that we have on our campus. We have over 2,200 students, but all of our students come from over 100 zip codes across LA. So we have students coming from West LA, we have students coming from the Valley, we have students coming from the South Bay, we have students coming from the East Side. So Paul Revere is truly a school that I think thrives itself on its diversity. And we see a lot of that in our classroom. We offer 3 programs, the Charter, the Magnet, and the PWT program. So for everyone here, we're obviously in the Magnet. So we'll be talking mostly about what's going on with the Magnet program. So just for information's sake, registration days for this year, you could feel free to take screenshots of this if you like, and any information that you may have or we may have on this Prezi. Our registration days for this year are 6th grade, it's going to be August 9th. 7th grade will be August 10th. 8th grade will be August 11th. I believe there will be a makeup day. I'm just not entirely sure what day that will be. But if you can't make it to one of those 3 days, or for August 9th for 6th grade, I believe there will be a makeup day. On these days, the students will receive their class schedules, which will also include their class placements. They'll get their textbooks. They'll get your locker assignments. You'll also get the calendar and the daily planners. And at this day, you can also purchase the PE clothes for the upcoming school year. Okay. A typical school day, our school day starts at 7:55. The west driveway closes at 7:55 a.m. So if you're going to drop off late, we're going to ask that the students get dropped off in the circular driveway to receive a tardy pass before entering campus. Our typical schedule, and of course, this is what we could do in a typical year. Next year, we're not quite sure what it's going to look like yet, but in a typical school year, our Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, we'll dismiss at 3:02. Our Tuesdays and Thursdays are our staff development days, so dismissal will be at 2:02. And at 12 Tuesdays of the school year, we have professional development, which will then have our students be leaving our campus at 1:32 on those days.
Okay, transportation. So we have Revere Metro buses and Big Blue buses. You can, again, might be a good time to do a screenshot so you can get information for people like Ms. Vogel here, who you can contact regarding carpool information. We have parent-sponsored buses. Another email there, buses@paulreveremiddleschool.com. And for the magnet, beyond 5 miles as the crow flies, we have magnet yellow buses and permit with transportation. All right, behavioral expectations. So let's see. So dress code, we take pretty seriously here. So I know things like spaghetti straps, bare shoulders, things like that. We'll have all the expectations will be very clear at the beginning of school. All the rules, as you can see there in the website and in the planner that every student will be given. If there's anything that we need to know, if you could let before school starts, your school staff, teachers, we often get emails at the beginning of the year about things we might need to know, behavioral issues or whatnot. Electronics. So during the day, electronics are not to be used. I believe on another slide, more detail will be told about that, but I'll talk more about the phone policy and things like that, I think in the upcoming slide. Social media, we really push that parents monitor what's going on. It's a weird age, starting middle school and everything's going on. And we really push to be careful with what goes on social media. And we'll have assemblies every year in the auditorium by grade level, and the whole grade will be basically given what not to do and why not to, what to look out for in social media. So some of you might have older kids, so you've already been through this, but if you're going through it now, it's a ride and things to be mindful of. So electronics, as I said, so no cell phones. We are very serious about this. And so if a phone is ringing, if we see a phone, if there's a text, if there's a beep from a phone or anything, like the phone is taken away and then is given back at the end of the week. So if it's a Monday, without question, that phone will not be given back until someone comes to go find it for the kids. If we'll go claim it rather on a Friday. So that's something maybe to practice over the summer is weeding them off phones if they have phones already. So yeah, those are our electronics policies.
All right, so here's another slide that's going to be pretty important for you guys to maybe write down some of the information. These are the offices that you might need to contact in case you have any questions regarding certain things that are going on school. So we have the main office for general inquiries and appointments with teachers, Ms. Anna Bareilles, and that's her email address. After that, we have our health office, which is located within the main office, and that's Cecile Basillo. We have our counseling office, which takes care of things like grades and schedules, the iPads, Schoology, any kind of social emotional concerns. Each grade level has its own counselor. So as you can see in the 6th grade, we have Tyler Evans, 7th grade, Derek Flowers, and 8th grade, Cecilia Esparza. Our attendance office is run by Mr. Justin Koritz, and those are for questions regarding absences or tardies and transportation. And then we have student services, which deals with lost items, textbooks, and discipline, and that's run by Mr. Tyson Evans. And then our magnet office, who's in, all magnet concerns, superstars, and parent volunteers. And Ms. Mabashoff is in charge of that. And then we have our special education office, which is located mid-campus, and you just have to check with the main office and they'll direct you to that. And then Schoology, those of you who are already a part of LAUSD, I'm sure are very familiar with Schoology. This is what we use to do our grades. We also use it to have send updates and important messages. So for the parents, it's really, really important for you guys to get logged into Schoology. You can check your child's grades, see upcoming assignments, communicate with teachers. And we really want to encourage you to set up an account if you have not been with LAUSD. There will be something, I think, during Reg Week where we can help set you up to make sure that you are logged into Schoology so you can have all these features for you.
Okay, I guess I'm up. It's a little bit small, but I'm going to do my best. We have a lot of programs at Revere for students with disabilities. And like all secondary schools within the district, we do have resource services. So for students who are in the general ed setting and have resource support, we do have that program. We also have a program, a special day program for students with specific learning disabilities. In that program, the students have all of their core classes, math, English, history, and science. With the special day teachers, we do have 3 special day teachers. So the students do go from class to class. It's not a self-contained classroom where the students are in the same classroom all day with the same teacher. And these students, generally speaking, have their electives and PE in the general education setting. Going back to our resource program, these students are also in the gen ed setting for PE and their elective, but they're also in the gen ed setting for all of their core classes. The resource teacher pushes into the math class 2 days a week and pushes into the students' English class 2 days a week. And then there's also a pull-out service, which is called the Learning Center, and that is in lieu of the students' elective. So it is a daily class that the student goes to, and they receive support, pre-teaching, reteaching, support with understanding concepts, and maybe an assignment they need some help on. So that's available as well. We also have a special day program for students who are on the core curriculum, so the gen ed curriculum, but who are on the autism spectrum. And within that program, it's a little bit different. That is a self-contained class. The needs of those students tend to be social and executive functioning, like organizational, things of that nature. So it's woven within the curriculum. Those students also have a gen ed elective, and many of those students have adaptive PE, but not all. So some of those students do have general education PE. We also have 2 alternate curriculum programs. One is for students on the autism spectrum, and it's a modified curriculum using Unique. So it's an online program that the district uses. It's really good, and there's a lot of assessment that's built into it, and it teaches a lot of functional and daily living skills. And many of these students have adaptive PE, I would say most do. And all of these students do have a general education curriculum or general education elective. So they are mainstreamed with their peers in their elective. And we also have the same type of program for students with intellectual disabilities, again, using the Unique curriculum. And they do have a gen ed elective, and most do have adaptive PE. And I believe our email addresses, our assistant principal, Dr. Anthony, is our administrator over special ed, and her email address is there. And I'm the coordinator. I am in, I would say, 95% of the IEP. So you will get to know me over the years, and my email address is there. Any questions you may have, feel free to reach out via email. I am still in 3 IEPs a day. It's our busy time of year. So if I don't answer you immediately, I will get to you as soon as I can. And my email address is there as well. Thank you.
All right. All of our students have a daily academic requirement for phys ed. So they take PE every single day. And for 6th grade, they have PE either 5th or 6th period. so towards the end of the day. As mentioned earlier, they wear their PE uniform and they need to have appropriate shoes for PE so that they can participate, whether it's running the mile or whatever sporting activity they are doing that day. So they practice team sports, they practice individual fitness, and like I said, they do some running. There's a superhero incentive. They get shirts. They do some prizes for running at a certain pace or beating their last goal. So yeah, PE is fun. We have a lot of PE teachers that are super energetic. Even through Zoom, you can see their energy flying off the screen. And some of the extras we have at Revere, we have many lunch clubs. Some of them in the past have been chess, ping pong, academic decathlon, there's community service ones, there's GSA, horticulture, circle of friends. I think Mr. Hyman had a comic book one. So there's a lot of different lunch clubs. We also have intervention classes that are for a 20-week period as opposed to the whole school year. So if your child qualifies for intervention classes, that's where they receive a little bit more specific help in English and math classes. And just in general, help with organization and things like that. We have homework help, and we have that before school, during lunch, and after school. And students can sign up for that as well. And many of the teachers are part of that, so they might even see their own teacher. There is Pride and PTSA for any parent who would love to stay involved with the school. You get to know a little bit more about the ins and outs of our school by joining that. We have a PEP program, we have Sports Mania and Summer Bridge. Last year I did Summer Bridge as well. And that's just a way for you to get to know the school a little bit more. There's summer and winter sports. There's all sorts of enrichment programs. Our school has a plethora of activities for everyone to do. Sorry about that. My screen wanted to go faster than I did. And last but not least, there is our school phone number for anyone who is looking to contact Paul Revere. So it is right there in case you need to take a screenshot or write it down if you have any questions that we did not answer and you didn't get done today. And this is kind of our traditional schedule. If we are starting the way that we normally do and we plan to on August 16th. Like we said before, we have a few Tuesdays that are ending at 1:32, and the rest of our Tuesdays and Thursdays end at 2:02. But our regular school day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, ends at 3:02 every day. And every morning it starts at 7:55. So that's when they need to be in their seats, not walking onto campus. They should already be in the classroom at 7:55 for homeroom. So that is kind of our tentative schedule for the fall.
What I wish I would have known before the first day of 6th grade is that the school isn't as big as you would seem, and you wouldn't get lost that much, and you can find your way around the school better than you think. Hi, I'm Lila, and what I wish I knew entering 6th grade is that everyone's nervous, and everyone's trying to figure out how to open their locker. Like, it's not very hard after you get it a couple times, so I wouldn't stress out about that. I know it could be very stressful, but it's not that hard after the first time you open it. So, good luck. Hi, 6th graders. I'm going to 7th grade, and in 6th grade, I wish I knew how to open my locker, and I wish I knew what the bells were for. Bye. Hi, I'm Sammy Paul. I'm going in the 7th grade. And one thing I wish I knew before I started my year at Paul Revere was to know when to go to my locker and when not to go during passing periods.
As an incoming sixth grader from Paul Revere, I wish someone would have told me to buy 2 pairs of PE clothes because it's always good to have one clean pair at school.
What would you wish you had known before going to middle school?
I wish I would have known that your locker needs to be more functional than pretty, because in the first week, all my magnets and my little pom-poms and my pretty shelf all just collapsed. I had to put them back together every day when I went to put my backpack in there, because you need to put your backpack in your locker for PE. So yeah, all in all, the best thing to do is just to have fun. Hi, my name is Dylan, and on my first day of school, I wish I knew where my classes were so I could map them out ahead of time.
One thing I was nervous about before coming to Revere was the size of the school, but instantly I knew my way around and it seemed a lot smaller.
One thing I was nervous about before coming to Revere was the workload, but once you get started, the work is super easy and the teachers are really understanding.
One thing I was scared about when going to Revere that I wouldn't have classes with any of my friends, but I quickly made friends in a lot of the classes I had.
And that is our presentation. We are going to go into breakout rooms. So if you have any specific questions that you would like to ask us, we'll be in small groups for you to be able to ask them.
Okay.
And Ms. Mabashov is here. Did you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah.
There, thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Ilana Mabashov. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's so nice to see the faces with the names I've been seeing all this time. It's great to have you here tonight. I cannot wait to get to meet you in person. So we're going to have a fantastic year ahead of us. I can already get a sense of our families that are coming in. It's very exciting, great energy, great families, and I think it's going to be a fantastic year. So welcome, and please know that I'm always available should you have any questions at all. Okay, don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll see you in your breakout rooms.
All right, so I'm going to be inviting you guys to join a breakout room. I know some people came in a little bit late, so I wasn't able to put them in yet. So if you don't get an invitation, I will be putting you in just a moment. But once you get the invitation, you are free to go to the breakout room. And I think we're going to try to keep it till about maybe 7:15. Is that about right, Ms. Mabashov?
Yeah, that'd be great.
About 45 minutes. Okay. So here we go. And good luck. And I'm going to put those that were not assigned into some rooms. All right, hopefully you guys were all assigned. Zauri Dominguez and iPad. Oh yeah. So if you guys can go into your breakout rooms, that would be great. You can get any individual questions answered over there.
Program that they're gonna do in the summer, are they gonna need to be there at 7:55, like just like school?
I don't. Oh, Mr. Takashi, you're here.
Yes, I'm in here. So sorry, I was just trying to get everyone else in.
No,
Sorry,
it's
what
fine.
was the question?
The question is if the students are participating in the Revere 101 bridge program during the summer, will the start time be the same as the traditional school day of 7:55?
That's a good question. Do you know that, Mrs. Sparza? We'll have to.
I don't think that the start time is 7:50, as early as 7:55. Right. I think it may be something reasonable like 8:30, 9. You'll have to look on the school website for further information if it's posted there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you'll probably have some kind of information sent out prior to it beginning to when it is. So hopefully, you'll know before. But yeah, I don't have that information. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had a question about registration day. Can you explain a little bit more about that day? Do parents attend with students? Is it like a normal entry time at 7:55? What happens on registration day?
Okay. Mrs. Sparza, do you think you could explain the registration?
Yeah,
That'd be great.
I'll take it. So registration days are usually span over a week worth of days. And we typically do 8th grade first day, 7th grade second day, 6th grade the third day, and then there's a makeup day. And so yes, families and as a whole are encouraged to come to Revere on that day. And what happens is you check in and you're given a map of the school so that you can visit different stations. And at these different stations located around our campus, which also acts as a self-guided tour in a sense, you and your child are picking up textbooks. You're picking up PE clothes, if that's something that you're interested in. You are picking up locker combinations and locations. You are also picking up, what's the other thing? Maybe an iPad that day or not. We haven't decided if we're going to do that before the start of school or after the kids are on campus. But you are picking up a variety of things. And so, yes, we encourage you to come with your child. Parking is tight and limited if you haven't already been to our campus. But we do stagger it as a morning session for half the alphabet and an afternoon session for the second half. And you come onto campus, you go through the different stations. Your child can always go on a search for their locker, start practicing that. And there will be a station for the pride and parent group if you're interested in visiting that. But just like the top of my head, I can't remember every station, but you will leave with a bag full of textbooks for sure. And so that's just it's a nice way for our kids to be on campus before the first day of school, and it's a nice opportunity for our parents to see that they navigating the campus is not as worrisome, because I can tell you that as one of the counselors for 8 years now at Revere, that first registration day, it's overwhelming to them, overwhelming to the 6th graders, the 7th and the 8th grade new kids, because Revere is such a large campus physically, acreage wise. But no need to worry, because about a week in, they're not nervous about the size of the campus anymore. They may be nervous about other things, which is understandable, but the size of the campus kind of disappears into their mind, back burner, and they feel fine about getting around. But I hope that answered your question.
It's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. I may have gone astray.
Thank you. Sorry, I have a question that was brought up in the chat, and I just want to address it before I get to Anne. Someone asked, is the magnet program classes and student lockers relatively close to each other? They were told that break between classes are not enough if locker is located far from classes. So from my understanding, and I think Mrs. Sparza can back me up on this, is that the counseling office tries to give lockers to students near their classes as best as possible. And so the magnet classes are all in this small little pod on campus. We're all really close together. So they try to make sure that magnet students have their lockers really close to those classes. I think maybe on occasion, there may be a few that are not too close, but I know that they try to accommodate. And so if your child does get a locker that's not nearby for whatever reason, maybe after like a couple of weeks, they do try to find if there's an open locker nearby and try to accommodate them that way. But for the most part, students are really close, or as close to their like homerooms as possible, so that they can, get to their lockers in the morning and are close to that classroom. And so that they do try to accommodate students that way. Okay. I'm gonna really quickly, I'm gonna leave. There's somebody coming in and I have to get them in and then come into a breakout room. So Anne had a question, I think. So
Yeah, I just had a quick question. The registration day sounds great, but
Maricela? Is that Maricela? Maricela?
If you have a friend or a family member who can come on your assigned day, there is a form for you to fill out that grants permission to this other person to collect the things for you and your child. And that's on our website also. By the way, our website is overwhelming with like information, bursting at the seams. And it's a double-edged sword for us because we want to put everything there at your fingertips, but that means that you have to go a little bit on a search for it. So as we draw near those registration days, that form is going to be a link on our school website main page. You won't have to search very far for it, but that may be a option for you, Sherwood family, and for anybody else who wants to do that. So like I said, I don't know how ready everything will be to have the option to hand that over to your child during the Revere 101. Typically the Revere 101 thing, I don't know the timing exactly leading up to registration days. You'll have to excuse me because it's pre-COVID days seems so far away that I'm like, what did we do? And what was the timeline to that? But nonetheless, someone can come pick up the items or we will get them to you that first day.
Right, thank you. Anyone else? Just feel free. You can even chat it to me and I will try to address it if you want to chat it. If you don't want to say it in front of the crowd, which is what a lot of our kids will do sometimes, is just chat questions. So feel free to do that as well.
I have a question about the room parents.
Sure.
How involved and what is the room parents' job exactly? Is it as involved as in elementary school?
No, from my experience, so, I do the math and I'm one of the teachers. So a lot of times the room parent, it's definitely not as involved as what they do in elementary. We encourage parents to maybe kind of take a little bit of a step back and let their child kind of become a little bit more independent. We encourage that, as a group. I know the magnet teachers, we definitely try to create this environment where students become more independent. Start to advocate for themselves, ask questions to the teachers. Of course, we want you as parents to be there behind the scenes, encouraging them to do these things. But as a room parent, for me, I really didn't want to make it really complicated for my room parent. I just said, if there were anything, I guess the room parents can make like a classroom list of contacts in case they need to reach out to people for various reasons. We certainly don't have like parties and things like that, where before maybe as a room parent you would have to kind of get things, whatever snacks or food items or whatever. And so it's definitely less in middle school. I will contact my room parent every so often if I need information, like for like a field trip, if we have one, just to say, look, we're gonna do this, and maybe you can reach out to the parents if we need volunteers. But really that's about it. I do know it just kind of depends on the teacher. For most of us in the magnet, we don't really ask too much of our room parents. Just we want to keep it simple. And so, if you have any particular questions with your your homeroom teacher, my dog, yes. Sorry. You can talk to them, individually. And so it's really not very intricate, and it's not very complicated as far as room parents in middle school go. And it gets probably less and less as you get into 7th and 8th grade, but I'm not even sure how much they do in 7th and 8th grade. So, yeah. Someone asked, by the way, in the chat, how and when do you audition for the orchestra? That's a really good question, because I'm not exactly sure. I believe you might be placed in orchestra, and then from there you might audition to see if you qualify for something higher, a higher level. Does that sound right, Mrs. Barza?
For 6th graders, there are 2 options. First option being I've never touched an instrument before and I want to learn how to do. So that's one class. And then the other option is.
Hi, Lawrence Fishman. Sorry about that. We're in breakout room, so I'm going to go ahead and place you in a breakout room. If you have any questions, you can talk to the teacher or whoever is in there. So if you're hearing me, Lawrence, I'm going to put you in a breakout room, and you can go ahead and, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask.
Okay. I'm a father of one of the students.
Okay.
Okay.
That's great. So I'm putting you in breakout room 1. Mr. Hyman is in there if you have any questions.
The band class has 2 levels also, beginning, or I have some experience. And that is also. The music program also offers the choir class, and everyone is in just 1 level choir class. And Miss Cronin does an excellent job of fine tuning those who already know something and teaching those who do not how to sing wonderfully by the end of the year. And that's our music department, which is, I have to tell you, there are not very many schools who have a music department at an elementary level. And it seems like we are one of the last, not the last school, but one of the last few schools who have such a large music program. And so we consider ourselves very lucky, and we very much strongly encourage your child to take a leap if they're curious enough to learn a instrument or sing, and absolutely continue with with their ability to play an instrument or to sing by joining the choir that way also. So
Yeah,
we
I
hope
can
that-
certainly like back up what Mr. Sparza is saying. And the music program is amazing. Like the kids that come out, like I'm like wowed by how good these kids are. And I don't know what level they are when they come in, but certainly, you know, it certainly shines when like they do a music program or something. They are very, very good. And so we're really lucky.
we are.
Yeah.
They do start off at some point very squeaky. And throughout the year, as we're walking by the classrooms, it starts to become more refined. And by the time they put on their winter and spring concerts for our families and our students, they sound pretty good.
They do.
They do.
I just wanted to apologize too. If you see me pop in and out, it's because I have like people that are coming in late. I have to kind of make sure they get in and get into a breakout room, which in fact, I see someone coming in. But I do have a question that was chatted to me. Maybe Mrs. Sparza, you can answer this. They asked, is the Summer Bridge program a paid one? Like, do you have to pay for it?
I believe so. Yes, there is a fee.
Hi, I'm Mr. Tokeshi. Sorry about that. If you guys need to, I'm going to be placing you in a breakout room where some of the other teachers are addressing questions. So if you have any specific questions, they can address them, okay? And I will be placing you. So if you get an invite to a breakout room, go ahead and feel free to join in. And they, like I said, will hopefully address any questions you might have.
Cross country is everybody joined, everybody gets in. I think that the soccer and other sports, specific sports, are on a tryout basis. And the second part to that question is, do a lot of kids enroll? I'd say that we get a good bunch of kids who do. I think that there are a lot of families that take advantage of the opportunity to join something. I always recommend joining the cross country team simply because it is I signed up, I made it. There is no cutoff to anybody who's interested. And it's always a really good group of kids. I think that it's a great way for them to meet different people that are outside of their classrooms and outside of PE. I think that along with all the other instructors and teachers who lead a PEP program after school, I think Mr. Foxton or Mr. Kirby leads it, and they're like super popular PE teachers, as the rest are. And I think it really teaches our kids when you have to run somewhere and you got to push that, push the limit a little bit or challenge yourself a little bit. I think that builds some confidence, along with resilience and all these things. You'll have to excuse my noise because my dogs are also home. But I think cross country is a good place to start. If you have a child who's like, I want to do something extracurricular, but I don't know if I want to go into the big leagues of trying out for something. That cross country is very welcoming to everybody.
Where do they do that cross country? Is it all around, do they run around campus or do they leave campus to run?
I've seen
Go
some,
ahead.
I've seen some that run kind of like not that far off campus. It's basically kind of up the hill on Allenford, right? And then they kind of hit a spot and then basically turn around and come back. That's what I've seen. But I don't know if they probably use some of the fields, right, to run around there. They don't really have like a track or anything. So they just kind of use they don't go too far outside the neighborhood. It's just basically down the street from the front of the school and then back. It's not too far.
So, and if you did cross country or you made the soccer team or whatever it was, how, like, when are after school activities? Like, are they 3 to 5 or what's the time frame?
Right. I think a lot of it would be dependent on like the coach, right? Like I'm sure the coach would probably have to do that. Or is there a specific time that they have? I would guess that it's going to be like right after school, sometime like 3:15 to like 5 o'clock, you know.
Typically.
I don't know the set schedule yet, but
Yeah.
they might have different times for different sporting activities. So
Most of the time it does start, unless they're going to a track meet off campus. But typically everything happens on campus, in the field, or in a classroom if you're signing up for any other PEP program, because the PEP program goes beyond just sports and outdoor activities. There's a yoga class at times, or there's a drawing class. There's different things that are offered, both in a classroom and out of the classroom. But I would say 5:30 being the latest that you'd be picking up your child from campus, typically, if not sooner than that. I don't think it goes into 6 o'clock, like I said, unless you're traveling to a track meet of somewhere or a soccer game of some sort. But typically 5 o'clock, 5:30.
yeah, it sounds about right.
Makes for a long day. 6 o'clock. I don't think people are too interested in extending a long day into a longer day.
Right.
Any other questions,
Yeah,
concerns,
sure.
curiosities?
And
We could not have possibly answered every question out there, Tokashi.
I know we're pretty good, but we're not that good. I mean,
Okay, so our son is coming from a Spanish immersion program, and I know you guys don't. I think you don't offer any Spanish in 6th grade. Is that right?
We don't have a bilingual program of sort. We do have a English support class for our students. So in the 6th grade, if English is a second language, which it sounds like you're maybe not coming from there. He's just coming from a learning both English or learning Spanish along with.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a native English speaker.
Okay.
I just don't want him to lose his Spanish. And so that's the one downside of Paul Revere. But I think someone was saying there's some Spanish clubs and things at lunch. I don't know if I could even force him to do that if he wanted to do that, but
Yeah, no. In the past we've had an intro to Spanish class for 7th and 8th grade. But we don't have something that's really like in depth, which I think that maybe your son is best placed in, something, more advanced. We don't. We have a club for the OLAS Club, which is the Organization for Latin American Students, which is not exclusive to any student from Latin America or heritage of Latin America, but that might be an option with a little bit of Spanglish and something that maybe he'd be interested in. But other than that, I don't think we can meet that exact need to keep his Spanish going. Any other questions, concerns? By the way, all these questions are very good. They're making me think. Anybody?
I'm just more curious if you have a total student head count number by now of students that are going to be in the magnet program?
Oh, Miss Mobishoff would probably have that number. I want to say it's like near 150 or so, 160, 150.
I think it's a little smaller this year. I think
Little
that
smaller than that?
the number may be more like 135, 140
For sixth graders.
for sixth grade.
Yeah, for sixth grade.
There are 135 available spots, I think.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Hoping they're all on campus in the fall. All
No.
135 full time.
From your lips to the universe.
Yes,
May it hear you.
Yes.
Because I think it's been challenging, to say the least. But it's also been a learning experience. So with everything comes good and bad and the in between.
Here's a question in the chat, and someone asked, what are the sports that are available to the sixth graders other than soccer and cross country? Is track and field available? Which I think
Yes.
that's an option, right? Track and field. They do all sports. They do basketball.
Yes.
I think, it's funny, right before we shut down in 19, we were, one of our teachers was starting up a golf team, right? Mr. Alpert was starting a golf team, which I heard was going to be really good. But yeah, they do have basketball, they do have golf, and then what else would I think they have a lacrosse team. I believe they have lacrosse. What else am I missing?
I'm trying to go on their website now to kind of pinpoint something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other, I think do they do flag football?
They have in the past.
I thought they did flag football.
They have in the past.
Okay.
So everything, it says register for all fall classes and all sports program available as of August 10th. It doesn't give me a list of what's available yet, but definitely as we get closer to the start date, Mr. Koretz will post that as they secure people to teach each sport and each class. But yes, my impression is that all of the classes and all of the sports are available to all of the grade levels.
Another question that was addressed in the chat was, what is the ratio of student per classroom? Well, according to what Mrs. Sparza said, if we have about 130 or so, 140, it's going to be around 35 to 36, right? Something like that. It's usually around 35 per teacher per classroom. I guess it kind of varies a little bit depending on the placement. So usually it's around that. And it's it's a pretty full class.
It is. Typically, we try to keep it as small as possible. If the counseling office does a really good job at what we're doing, we typically have 32, 33 as our target point. But it really depends on student placement. It could be that the honors class has a little more students than a proficient class, or vice versa. It really depends on meeting the needs of our kids with the correct placement in the different levels.
Right.
That's a good question.
I don't have any more in the chat right now. So if anyone else has anything, and as we continue, if you don't have any questions, you don't feel like you have to stay. We're happy to answer any questions, but if you feel like you've gotten what you need, you're not held to stay in the meeting, but we're always happy to, answer what we can. We'll probably be on for another about 15 minutes or so, but certainly you don't have to stay the entire time if you feel like you've gotten what you needed. I think our school is really good about sending out updates and sending out information, to whatever you need. But if you had written down the information about the offices, they're really good to contact, and they usually get back to you right away. So if we don't address any question, if we miss something, or if you think of something later, right? Feel free to contact the school with whatever you have.
I actually have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the wheel, the elective wheel. Can you tell me a little bit about that program?
So the elective wheel for 6th grade are for students who are not, excuse me, in the music program. They are placed, and so the elective wheel runs every 10 weeks and they get switched out, and they, you know, depending on, they have things like, I guess, I know they had geography, they've had Shakespeare, they've had, in the past, they've had keyboarding, they've had a variety of things. And as an incoming 6th grader, they just get placed into one of those, depending on, you know, where their PE class or when they take PE. Because for 6th grade, all their core classes, their math, science, English, and history, they're all in the morning, periods 1 through 4. Then there's lunch, and then after lunch, you have your 5th period and your 6th period. Those for 6th graders are reserved for their PE class and their elective class. Some kids will have PE 5th period and their elective 6th. Some will have their elective 5th and their PE 6th. And so the elective wheel is just a variety of classes that switch every 10 weeks. We hope that it's something that is engaging for the kids, but it's kind of really just sort of at the mercy of the schedule, and you know, what teachers are teaching what. We've also had like math, magic, some extra math stuff, some writing electives, things like that. And then once they get, you know, toward the end of the 6th grade year, they do get to choose what they would like to try to do in 7th grade. Again, if the student is not in a music program or in the music program. So it's basically just a variety of classes that they switch every 10 weeks. So they get, you know, 10 weeks of whatever, and then at the end of that, then they switch to another teacher, into another class, and they all transition together. So if you're in, you know, if you have a group of students, or if your child is in with a group of students in one elective, they will be with that group the entire time, barring any kind of, you know, unforeseen reason where they had to be out of the class. But they try to keep them all together. And then in 7th grade and 8th grade, if they do take an elective, I believe it's 20 weeks. So they take it for an entire semester once they get into 7th and 8th grade. Okay. A couple of other questions popped up in the chat. One says, are the magnet classrooms all in the same vicinity of campus? Yes, they are. They are very close. They're in 2 basically consecutive buildings that are basically back to back. And then like I would teach next door to one of the other magnet classes, and then the other 2 teachers in the other building, they also teach next door to each other. So they're very close in vicinity. And then the other question was, the only time they mix with charter students is in the electives, and that is correct. And PE, elective and PE, they are mixed with charter students. So they do get an opportunity to mingle with those kids if they have friends that are in the charter. So it's really good. I have another question that said, when is the registration date for the students? When was that date again? Hey, Ms. Mabashov, how are you?
Muted. Hi. Dates for registration. It's going to be that week right before school starts. I think we said the 9th, 10th, and 11th. And most likely there'll be a makeup day on the 12th, unless that changes next year.
That was it in the chat so far. So, I mean, that was the couple of questions that popped up. Anybody else? Mrs. Sparza has been killing it. She's been answering every question, and she's been like, so I know. That's why I chose to be with her, because I knew she would answer.
Miss Mabashov wrote all the answers down for me here, so I'm just reading them.
Please.
I have a quick question too. Our son is at soccer practice, so he missed this call.
Okay.
So is there a makeup for this or anything? My dog's talking to your dog. Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'll wait till she comes back.
Sorry. Is there a makeup for the student call at all? Because we were like, well, should we log on? One of us log on to the student call, but that's kind of weird. But our son's not here.
You know, the student part of it was just, it was led by our leadership kids. There's not a makeup session per se, and it's not being recorded just for the kids' privacy, but they were being facilitated by the leadership teacher, and the kids were just doing different meet and greet activities where it's just kind of icebreaker, things like that, little games like that. So it is just for tonight, but I don't, you know, he's gonna have plenty of time to meet other kids, plenty of time. He's gonna go to summer camp, right? So he won't do the summer bridge. You're muted.
He's doing the PEP one, right?
Oh, he will do the summer bridge program?
Yeah, it's
good.
1 week.
Yes, that's gonna be the best.
Yeah, I think the end of July, he's doing that.
Yes, perfect. That's great. Strongly encouraged to do that. The kids get a lot out of it.
All right. Anything else?
I have a good question.
Yeah.
It's like two questions, but in one. So for the kids that are being bused, does the school put PE at 5th period, or how does that work? And then even the kids that sign up for certain sports, will there be a late bus, or do the parents pick the children up?
Yeah, from my understanding, well, so the sixth grade students, they all have their PE either 5th period or 6th period, right? It's always at the end of the day. And then as far as sports is concerned, they do have late buses. I don't know, Ms. Mabashov, maybe you can elaborate. I'm not sure how that.
There are late buses twice a week, and they do take that into consideration with the sports. Yeah, so they'll have late magnet buses. Is it Monday and Thursday? I want to say it can change year to year, but I think it's been Monday and Thursday, and that way they can stay for after school activities.
Okay, and then to explain the first question, so what I was saying was, like, if you know a child is on the bus, will you typically give them PE for 5th period? You know, like, I don't know. It's been a while since I've been in school, but if they're getting dressed, undressed, or however, I don't want them to miss the bus.
No, it'll be 5th or 6th period, because a lot of our kids take the bus, so it'll be 5th or 6th period. But they'll get in the habit of the PE teachers release them to change their clothes well before the bell rings.
Okay. Great.
And the buses typically stick around within reasonable time before you know, going on to their home journey.
Okay, great. Thank you.
We don't have very many kids miss the bus.
Okay.
Typically, if everything goes right.
I'm gonna pop into another room.
Sure. And then someone was asking where they can buy PE stuff.
Okay. You know what? Most likely during registration week, we're gonna have, and I would wait anyway, because these kiddos grow so fast, as you know. So I would definitely buy the clothes towards the end of the summer rather than the beginning of the summer. But yes, during Reg week, we will sell PE clothes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. I think it's just a new question. If the students take the school bus, can it be selected day or must be every day? I think if you decide, if you're taking the magnet bus, I mean, it's just there for you. If you miss it, then you're going to have to provide transportation on your own. I don't think it's something where you have to choose. You can, if you want to have them go, you just have to make sure that they get to the bus stop on time. And if not, then you'll have to bring the child, your child yourself. All right.
Anything else?
You guys have been an awesome group. Thank you very much.
So we won't keep you. If there
Yeah.
aren't any other questions, please enjoy your evenings.
Yeah.
Definitely switch gears, go have a bite to eat, enjoy your evening, get
Right.
ready for a Friday that's going to lead you straight into the weekend.
1 week left. 1 week left.
We're excited to have you guys on campus. We
Yeah,
hope
can't
that
wait.
everything goes back to some resemblance of normal. And we hope to see you on registration day. Please feel free to send out a message or make a phone call should you have any questions to Ms. Mabashov or to any of us. And although it's a busy season for us, we really tried to get to your emails before the end of the school year, and we may miss our emails so much that we'll check them during the summer occasionally. But we'll see how it goes. We've been living off of emails for many months now. I can't guarantee you that we're going to miss them. But please always feel free to reach out to us. And your questions are all awesome. Thank you for joining us, giving us your time, letting us into your homes. And we hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night. Bye.
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 Right. I'm going to head into the main room, Miss Esparza. We'll see if anyone else is there.
Okay. Do I follow you there?
I think you're good. I don't know. You
Okay.
can if you want. It's up to you.
All right. Okay. I'll see you later.
And enjoy your night. Thank
Tomorrow.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
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 It was a couple of years ago when they adopted the NGSS standards. They transitioned it to become an integrated science model. So typically before that, 6th grade was all physical science or earth sciences, right? So you talked about plate tectonics, earthquakes, volcanoes, rock cycle, all that kind of stuff. Then when they switched to NGSS, they made it an integrated model. So you're touching on physical science, right? You're talking about earth sciences, you're talking about life sciences, right? So you get a little bit of a brief introduction to all of those different fields of science in the 6th grade. And then based on that, then you start to develop more and more as you get older through 7th grade and through 8th grade. So then by the time you get to high school, let's say you're taking a physics class, you now had ideally like 3 years of physics underneath your belt. You know what I mean? So it's a much different model, and it's a model that I think I really like a lot.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
Okay.
I forgot to ask during the breakout room, as far as the physical locations of the classroom for magnets, they're all kind of in one building.
Yeah.
They're a little too close to each other. I mean, I can hear Mr. Matson.
yeah, I'm the loud one of the group. So I know Ms. Mello has a hard time sometimes because when I start to get really animated in my classroom, it starts to rumble in her class. So that's how close we are. We share one wall together. So all 4 of us, our classes are all in the same area.
Yeah. So the 6 minutes in between class is quite a lot for them for those first 4 periods because they're all right next to each other.
And I apologize. What subjects do you teach?
I teach English.
English.
Mm-hmm. And then Mr. Tokeshi here teaches math.
Tokeshi, this is Sadie. She's an incoming 6th grader from next year.
Welcome. Hi, Sadie. Nice to meet you. My name is Mr. Tokeshi, and yes, I do teach the math. So looking forward to having you next year.
Hi, it's great to meet you all.
Thank you. Thank you. What school are you coming from, Sadie?
We all asked the same question.
Sorry.
Westminster.
Westminster. Okay.
I
Nice.
don't know if we have anyone from there this year.
Actually, Mr. Pizzola, his son is my friend, so yeah, he also goes to Westminster.
Oh, Anaï's father was in our room.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So Ani's little brother is coming to Revere.
Is she a 7th or 8th grader?
And I think I see another Westminster Dolphin. Naomi, are you in this group?
Oh yeah, I think I saw. Oh yeah.
No camera. But
Hey, Sophie. Hi.
hi. Hi.
Here's Naomi.
Hi, Sadie.
Hi.
Should I put the video?
Oh no.
So a couple. So that's good. You'll know somebody then.
Yeah, I think there's 5 from her school.
Right on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump into room 1 really quickly with Mr. Hyman, and I'm gonna be probably closing out the breakout room. I think he's the last one. So I'm gonna just check in on them and see if they're okay.
Right on.
Tomorrow or 3 weeks from now, or email me. Okay. Oh, look who it is. Mr. Takeshi.
How are you guys doing?
Perfect.
I've been talking math and saying, I'm going to give you Mr. Takeshi's email address, and he's happy to answer your question. So he's here right now. Go ahead, take it.
Great.
So there are questions about children who are coming in with advanced math placement. How is that going to play out?
That's a good question. I mean, they're going to be placed into a particular math class for 6th grade. And then, you know, when I get a hold of them, I am going to, I guess, kind of assess where they are and kind of figure out, you know, our honors program is pretty rigorous for the most part. You know, I do expect a lot out of the students. So I guess we'll just kind of have to see. I mean, you know, in terms of how you want it to play out or how it will play out, I mean, I guess it all depends on, you know, how we're going to be in the classroom. If it's going to be, you know, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to be pretty close to back to normal. You know, the honors is the accelerated math class. We do go into both 6th and 7th grade, you know, math concepts. And so it goes at a pretty fast pace. If your child is, you know, feeling like it's not difficult enough or it's too slow of a pace, you know, it's certainly something that they can reach out to me and we can have some kind of discussion about maybe some kind of supplemental stuff. You know, I usually find that a lot of the students, you know, once we get started, it goes at a pretty good pace. And most kids, I feel, are pretty challenged throughout the program and throughout the year. But, you know, there are some students who are highly advanced and, you know, I just have to kind of see for myself where they're at and go from there. So yeah, it's just kind of depends. We'll kind of have to see. I was just kind of jumping in to see if you wanted me to keep the breakout room open too, but
I'm happy to a few more minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping I don't get locked in here at school.
Right.
But
I know, yeah, you're gonna have to shut it down within the next like 7 minutes.
Okay. A question about auditioning for orchestra. I was just typing an answer. There are at the beginning of the year, right? Aren't there auditions to see how they do, where they place in orchestra?
For the advanced classes.
Okay.
For the advanced ones, yes.
There's the answer.
My son's in orchestra. Mr. Samuel is the guy. And there are 3 different levels of orchestra. We have a pretty big orchestra program, and they will be testing immediately. And there are, you know, there are slots, and there is. Sorry, that's my son.
So yeah, I know that they do that at the beginning of the year.
And you'll be in good hands for orchestra.
Any other questions? At all? No? Okay, yes, there is. Okay, so
when the audition date will be, I'm not sure. You probably have to wait for Dr. Samuel to kind of give that information out.
So are the kids also in the same elective and PE classes? No, they're not. So students that play an instrument or sing in the choir, that's their elective. If they are in the elective, we have an elective wheel. And I got to say, in 6th grade, it's really a misnomer because they're not electing anything. They're put into their elective. 7th and 8th grade, they elect what they want to do. I teach geography as an elective. There's, you know, there are a bunch. There's banking. There's a math kind of elective. There's what Ms. Robertson does. What is it? What's it called again?
Agriculture.
Horticulture. Yeah.
Agriculture.
Agriculture. Sorry. There's a big difference. Don't ask me what it is. So they are on their own schedules. They're not all the same with PE. So because orchestra and electives are all, they're different.
I will say
in sixth grade, they're in the afternoon in the sixth grade.
the band, choir, orchestra is its own elective. And I will say you should probably talk to Mr. Samuel if you're concerned about which orchestra you're going to land in, because that does come into play for scheduling. So reach out to Mr. Samuel and let him know where you think your child is going to land so that you can ideally have your scheduling work.
He can definitely pick him up any day that you would like, and he can ride the bus as long as he qualifies any day that he chooses.
Oh, okay.
All right, here, I'm gonna give you the phone number right now to the transportation office. And then, again, Ms. Mabashoff, you can contact Ms. Mabashoff to ask her any questions about that as well.
And I'm just throwing my email out there if you ever have a question for me.
I think everyone has my email
Perfect.
address.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right, you too. Thank you for coming.
We really appreciate you
Thank coming. You. Jason, go to bed.
Yeah, Jason. Hey, Jason, make sure. Hey, how's your head?
Say something. Hi.
Hey, Jason, has your head come back down to the normal size, Jason, or is it still pretty big from all the nice things we were saying about you?
Normal size.
It's normal size now? Excellent, man. Good.
I hope you have a big pillow.
Is that your
yeah.
Is that your sister, Jason?
Yes, she'll be in sixth grade next.
All right, looking forward to it.
All right.
Jason, give her your email. That way your sister can ask you questions.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you so much. Please feel free to reach out with any additional questions that you have. And thank you to Mr. Tokeshi, Mr. Hyman, Mr. Matsu, Miss Mello, Miss Honda, and Miss Runner.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right,
guys, have a good evening.
Bye. Have a great evening.
Ms. Mabashoff, I have a question for you.
Yeah. Shoot.
What do I do with the recording? Like, I want to make sure you get it. And so.
Oh yeah. So when you
do I have to
close,
do something?
it'll upload once you push stop record. It'll upload. Then you're gonna send it to me. It's easier if it's saved to the cloud, but if it's saved to your device, you can also do it. Just make sure you're by strong Wi-Fi because it takes a long time.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
but it takes a very long time, Takesh.
Okay.
Yeah, don't think something's wrong. It'll eventually send.
Oh, okay, so I just have to hit stop. We're good, right? I can pause.
Yeah.
But did it record through the breakout rooms? No, just the presentation part, right?
No, I think our breakout room started recording at some point.
Yeah, I'm so.
They asked me if it was being recorded, and I wasn't sure.
Stopped it. I didn't stop it. It's been recording the whole time. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna stop it when you went into your breakout.
Oh, I didn't know if I was supposed to.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. You know, Lori Vogel will edit it.
So it's gonna take like 2 weeks to get to.
We'll get it in August.